second Unity Dinner. Are you excited? Are you fun? Thank you, Vice Chair. All right. I'm Igor Tregup, Chair of the Alameda County Democratic Party. And this is the Vice Chair, Tanya Love. We're so excited to welcome you tonight. It's going to be a very exciting program as we bring down the house from AC to DC. Since we are doing this in Berkeley this year, home of the Bears, and home of some other folks too. We're gonna do a land acknowledgement. We recognize that the community we live in was built on the territory of Huchin, the ancestral and unceded land of the Chochenyo-speaking Ohlone people, the ancestors and descendants of the sovereign Varana Band of Alameda County. This land was and continues to be of great importance to all of the Ohlone tribes and descendants of the Varana Band. As we begin our 52nd Unity Dinner, we acknowledge and honor the original inhabitants of Berkeley, the documented 5,000-year history of a vibrant community at the West Berkeley Shell Mound, and the Ohlone people who continue to reside in the East Bay. We recognize that Berkeley's residents and visitors have and continue to benefit from the use and occupation of this unceded stolen land since the city of Berkeley's incorporation in 1878. As Alameda County Democrats, it is not only vital that we recognize the history of this land, but also we recognize that the Ohlone people are present members of Berkeley and other East Bay communities today. Thank you. And I'm going to turn this over to our Vice Chair for some very exciting and important announcements.
Hey, Democrats. Hey, how you doing? Are you guys enjoying the wonderful banquet dinner? Yes, I know this was something you've been looking forward to all year, because I know I have. I love salads. I love chicken. And I'm excited about getting my chicken dinner tonight. How many of you are also excited and love gifts? You like gift baskets, you like trips, you like wine, you like all the things, and you like to give your money to those things, don't you? Yeah, aren't you excited? So I want to remind you that we have a silent auction that is happening outside, and there are little cards on your table so you can bid while you're eating that wonderful chicken. Isn't that wonderful? Aren't you excited? I'm so excited about that. Also, if you have not gotten your parking validated, just a reminder, you can get your parking validated at the tables up front. So don't forget to do that. And so now we will introduce our next speaker.
Thank you so much. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce our mayor, the first Latino mayor elected in the city of Berkeley, the second youngest mayor to have been elected in the city of Berkeley, Jesse Aregin. Let me also know that Mayor Arreguin is the California Democratic Party's endorsed candidate for state senate. I'm looking forward to having him as my next state senator, and I hope you are too.
Good evening, Democrats. So I'm proud to be the California Democratic Party's endorsed candidate for State Senate District 7 to bring our progressive democratic values to Sacramento. And I'm also proud to be here as the mayor of the city of Berkeley to welcome you to the 52nd Alameda County Unity Dinner, the first time we've actually had it in the city of Berkeley. And I want to just acknowledge and thank all of our servers, all of the hospitality staff, all the workers here at the Doubletree Hotel. Round of applause. The proud Union Hotel here in the city of Berkeley. And here in Berkeley, we're proud of many things. We are proud that Berkeley was the home of the next president of the United States, the first woman, the first African American, the first API woman president, Vice President Kamala Harris. And we're also proud to have led so many social movements that have transformed the state and this country. The movement for racial justice, the movement for economic justice, against apartheid, for environmental justice. And as the saying goes, so goes the East Bay, so goes the state, and so goes the country. Big things start here in the East Bay and in Berkeley. And key to that transformative leadership are the three people that we're honoring today. Our incredible Congresswoman Barbara Lee. State Senator Nancy Skinner. And Alameda County Supervisor Keith Carson. Who have given decades of incredible transformative leadership for Alameda County and for the state of California. Obviously, they made such a huge impact. We need to build on their work. We know there's more work to do. It's always said that every election is so consequential. This is the most important election in our country's history. Our democracy is on the line. Reproductive choice is on the line. Our environment is on the line. Economic justice is on the line. So many things that we hold true as Americans are on the line. So Democrats, we have 44 days. We got to put it all on the line. And not just help swing those red districts to blue. There are 4 seats in California that if we can flip those, we can take back the House. But we also need to put our East Bay native Kamala Harris in the White House and elect Democrats up and down the ballot. So as the Vice President says, when we fight, we win. Let's put it all on the line, let's win this election, and let's elect Kamala Harris to the White House. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Mayor Arreguin. Indeed, from AC to DC, we are about to make more history, or should I say horror story, up and down the ballot. It's important, as we do that, to take stock of all of us, all of you who've been there along the way. And it is my honor to give a very special recognition to our mentor of the year, who made the first film about the struggle for abortion rights in the US with her 3 feminist filmmakers. It was made before the Supreme Court legalized abortion in 1973. This film serves as a powerful reminder of the conditions and demands that inspired the movement for abortion rights 50 years ago. And, you know, we're not going back, are we? It spoke not only about women's experiences with illegal abortions, but also about the high rates of Black maternal mortality, forced sterilization, and drug testing on people of color. Karen Weinstein, who had her own, and this is in the Bible, so I think I can say this, who had her own illegal abortion blindfolded in a locked room, remembers those very turbulent years before Roe v. Wade, when hundreds of women died from illegal abortions. She became involved in making the abortion film, as it was then referred to, with the hope that it could be used to save women's lives. The film recently won Best Creative Documentary Short Award at the Women's Voices Now Film Festival. Karen continued to fight for women's rights from there. Then Assembly Member, now Senator Nancy Skinner, named her Woman of the Year, and multiple organizations, including California Young Democrats, the Berkeley Democrats, Berkeley City College, and Democratic Women have given her awards for her leadership, contribution to public service, and for being an inspiration to young women. And now we're very proud to do the same. So Karen, please stand up and be recognized. And after you stand up, Kevin, please come to the stage so we can honor you with an award.
So the lenses right here.
And now we're going to acknowledge special guests. Now, there's a lot of you in here, so I'm not going to do it one at a time. So for those of you who are a current elected official, if you could please stand and wave to the crowd. Do your princess wave. And for those of you who are doing the hard work right now and running for election, please stand up. And I want to take some time to actually acknowledge our elected members of the Alameda County Democratic Party Central Committee. If you are a Central Committee member, please stand up. I want everyone to look at these people in the room. We are volunteers. We raise money. We're not. We campaign for you to make sure that you are in office. Please acknowledge them and thank them for all of that work. And so now we have an elected Central Committee member and an elected official, Victor Aguilar, who will be coming to the stage. Honorable Victor Aguilar, can you please come to the stage? City Council. Looking good in my favorite color, purple, lavender.
So handsome.
It's the best color in the world, don't you all agree?
How are we all doing tonight? So great to see you all. So I have the honor of presenting the first award to Democratic Club of the Year. And the award goes to the East Bay Stonewall Democratic Club. So we'll have some of the representatives come up right now. Matt Lark, our president, is here. But the East Bay Stonewall Democratic Club was founded in 1982 to give a voice to East Bay LGBTQIA+ community. The club was organized and established to further equality through the political process and community activism, bringing together LGBTQIA+ individuals and our allies to achieve equality for all and advance progressive values through the Democratic Party. We raise the issues of LGBTQIA+ rights and political campaigns. We lobby for legislation that advances and upholds the rights of LGBTQIA+ individuals. And our club is governed by active board members and committed volunteers according to our bylaws of this organization. We encourage you all to be involved as an ally. If you are part of the community, please sign up. See Matt. We're here to recruit you all to participate in our organization. We do a lot of great, amazing work. And we just had our East Bay Stonewall Democratic Club breakfast, Pride Breakfast, last week, which was amazing. And we had some amazing sponsors. So I want to thank you all for supporting us. And congratulations, East Bay Stonewall Democratic Club. So we'll come up and take a photo. Do a photo up. We have our award over here. Austin Brickner! And I'll let Matt say a few words. This is our president of East Bay Stonewall Democratic Club.
Thank you, Alameda County Democrats, for honoring us, the East Bay Stonewall Democratic Club, as Club of the Year, for the second time. I was asked to say. This recognition reflects the dedication and passion of our members, especially as we continue to fight for LGBTQ rights and equality. We endorsed 40% of our endorsees this past cycle were LGBTQ, so we're super excited about that. Oh, my alarm is going off. I'm excited about that too. As we head into November, it's crucial that we vote up and down the ballot for candidates and measures that protect our community. Every race counts and every vote matters in securing our rights, especially in our school boards. We are on the same line now. Got you. I want to shout out all our incredible board members. We are a group of volunteers. Ryan Lalonde, our amazing PAC chair, Shay Franco-Clausen, our treasurer, James Barolo. We have Victor Aguilar here, Austin Bruckner-Carrillo, Dr. Jennifer Tran, Brent Blackbeard, Alfred Chwu, Lina Du, and Lisa Hu. And I know lots of folks in the room are past board members. Fun fact, Goodall actually hired me as the club fellow back in 2018, so thank you, Brenda Lynn. And I also want to take a moment to honor the memory of our past president, Peggy Moore. Peggy was a trailblazer whose leadership and heart left an incredible mark on this class and our community. Her legacy will continue to inspire us as we carry forward the work she cared so deeply about. So let's make her proud and keep fighting for justice together. Thank you.
We'll take a photo right up here, and then we'll hand the mic over to you.
It's about to be a drag race. Oh.
Now we get to thank our sponsors. Thank you so much to those who donated to sponsor this event. All the work and the funds that were collected are going to go towards helping electing you. So yay, thank you for helping out with your own campaigns. I want to thank our luminary sponsors, Becker Boards, kidding aside, you know, I was telling my friends the other day that even with my glasses, I cannot see. And that's a feature of getting a little bit more seasoned. And so now I'm just gonna have to use my phone so I can see these a little bit better. Also want to thank our Brotherhood of Electric Workers, Local Union 595. Thanking our Alameda Labor Council as a champion sponsor. Our National Union of Healthcare Workers. And the campaign to re-elect Liz Ortega. Thanking our defenders, the Oakland Education Association, OEA. Family member Bucky Wicks. Supervisor Lisa Marquez. ASFE Council 57. California Teachers Association. Giant Horse Workers. Mayor Raj Shalwan. Yes Campaign. Cost Free Group. SEIU, UHW. SEIU 1021. SEIU 2015. Mayor Courtney Welch. Brittany Weaver Democratic Club, Asian Pacific American Democratic Caucus. Jewish Democratic Coalition of the Bay Area. Woo! Okay, and so there's a lot more going with our patrons. We want to thank. We bring out the glasses on the phone. We have Congressman Eric Swalwell, Lambert Moss, Supervisor Keith Carson, Assembly Member Mia Fonza, Roy Voice Pack, Sophie Hahn, Latifah for Congress. And I want to thank all our allies and friends. I'm not going to name all of you, but if you're an ally, or friend, stand up. Ally or friend, stand up. Thank you so much for your donations. We really appreciate all of you. So next, I want to bring up Andy Kelly and Mona Barrett Gibson for a special remembrance. Andy Kelly and Mona. All right, I'm a little old school. I know it's like a good staff. All right. Hi there. My name is Mona Barr Gibson, and I served as Senator Ellen. I served as Senator Ellen Corbett's district director for 6 years. As much as I wish I wasn't, yes, that's right. As much as I wish I wasn't here tonight under these circumstances, it is right to honor Ellen tonight at this unity dinner. An event we attended many times together over the years, and it's strange to be here without her. It also feels kismet that today was Ellen's funeral. I'm sure Ellen has something to say about that. When I was asked to give some remarks about Ellen, they said we all knew Ellen for her work, but we want to hear from somebody who knew her personally. The thing is, I realized I can't separate Ellen's life of service from who she was. Yes, we are all multifaceted. Ellen loved roses and wildflowers. She loved antique brooches. She loved San Leandro. And every once in a while, she loved a good Irish whiskey. But Ellen really loved politics. This was in her DNA. Her father, Bill, was an early influence of Ellen's love of local politics and of the law.
He was a member of this very Alameda County Democratic Central Committee. Ellen was a proud product of the East Bay. Born in Oakland, she lived on 82nd Avenue, that's right, until her family moved to San Leandro. Ellen went to Chabot College, and then Cal State Hayward. You would not catch Ellen calling it East Bay. After getting her JD, Ellen returned to San Leandro and disrupted the old school establishment. When she was elected to the San Leandro City Council, at a time there were not many young women running for office in San Leandro. But I should mention, Ellen lost her first race for council. We usually only hear about the wins at these things, but this was also a part of Ellen's story, because she was someone who didn't give up. Tenacious as always, Ellen ran for mayor after her first term on the San Leandro City Council and became the first elected female mayor of San Leandro. And although some of the political infrastructure that had worked against Ellen were now her colleagues, she had a gift of always figuring out how to work together for their shared constituents. This was the thing about Ellen. She was guided by her core beliefs, and it would always do what was right for the people she served, even if it was difficult, even if it was the hardest path. Ellen was not the favorite when she ran for Assembly and later Senate, but was victorious in both. She was a trailblazer yet again when she was appointed Senate Majority Leader and only the second woman to do so. Even with this prestigious position, Ellen loved to remind folks her first job in the state capitol was that of a tour guide. She never lost her sense of wonder for the building, even when times got tough. I began working for Ellen when she was in the Senate, and I was immediately amazed by her energy. Ellen was one of those rare people who didn't drink coffee but could go and go and go. For the staffers in the room, you know the drive between Sacramento and the district when your boss calls with all those great ideas they've come up with while on the road? Ellen did that too. But more often than not, she was asking about what was happening in the district. Who was calling? What casework was coming in? What did she need to be filled in on? The dedication to her constituents was paramount to Ellen. We were taught to always treat our constituents with respect and dignity, no matter the case. This love for her constituency was evident in her legislation, which was rooted in district issues often. Like the fight to save San Leandro Hospital. Yeah! That's right, Doug. Seismic safety in our schools and consumer protections. If you have a gift card in your pocket right now that has less than $10 in it, you can get that back in cash thanks to Ellen. The other core piece I think of when I think of Ellen is that of a mother. Her son Ryan was the most important person in her life, full stop. When the legislature was in session, Ellen drove home 4 nights a week to make sure she was home for Ryan, even when we had evening events. I had both my kids while working with Ellen, and honestly, I was nervous about what that was going to look like. With our erratic schedules, unknown hours, even though I knew how difficult it was for Ellen being a working single mom. In the Senate, I worried that maybe she'd be tough on me too. If she could do it, maybe I could do it too. But turns out I had nothing to worry about. Ellen was incredibly respectful of my boundaries even before I knew what that word meant. I was able to work part-time, and Ellen welcomed my babies into the Corbett crew. As I look back, I'm in awe of Ellen's service, especially as a single mother. She knew her voice represented the people she served and took that very seriously. Ellen wasn't always welcomed at every table she sat at, but she would always work past that to serve her district. One memory in particular I have is a story she shared from the assembly. There were budget cuts on the table. Child care subsidies were being looked at to be cut from a welfare to work program that we all know is so important. Ellen had to explain to her colleagues, many of whom were men whose wives were at home and took care of the household and the children. Ellen had to tell them how she, as a single mom, relied on a network of family and friends, and yes, child care providers, to be able to sit next to them as their colleague. That was what Ellen did. She spoke up, always doing what she thought was right. I will miss Ellen, and I will think of her when I pass an antique store, when I hike through the East Bay Regional Parks, when I use a blue felt tipped pen that she always edited my speeches with, or when I see a mother in office. So tonight I say, rest in power, EMC. Thank you.
Sean made me promise to be brief. So I'm not going to focus on Peggy Moore's biography. We all knew her in many different ways, especially those who've been in the East Bay a long time. You know, so many of us knew her from the Obama campaign. So many folks knew her from Sister Stepping or Stonewall. You know, so many of us knew her through her wife, Hope Wood, who we also lost this year, and their work for marriage equality. They were both dear friends of mine and dear friends at Spring. How excited would Peggy Moore be to be here tonight to know that Kamala Harris is going to be our next president? I've actually had that conversation in my head. That's the thing about grief, is you don't really realize that someone's not there. Especially the person who you would go to when you needed that support. It was always Peggy for so many of us. And Peggy would always remind us to fight like hell in the primary, and then fight like hell to beat them. And that's really what the Unity Dinner is about, right? We've had our primaries. Okay, we have instant runoff voting thanks to Sean, so some of us are still fighting our primaries. But to come together and to win. And few people did more to help us win than Peggy Moore. She taught many of the folks in this room how to organize, from Camp Courage to Camp Obama to Camp You Need to Figure Out How to Pass Your City Council Item. I'll be there on a Saturday morning and do special training just for you. Hey, I catch. She was just a beautiful, lovely mentor to so many of us, so incredibly kind, so incredibly ethical. And she would always remind us that it was more important to fight for what you believed in than to win, but that it was damn important to win too. So we have a long program tonight, and there's so much that could be said, but I'm just going to ask us to all remember two things that Peggy always would say. The first is, a lot of folks in here tonight are running for office and you're going to lose. That's okay, as long as you fight for what you believe in, right? How many people lost something in a campaign and the first phone call you got was from Peggy Moore saying, what's next? Right? How many folks got fired from a job or laid off, or the campaign was over and the first phone call was from Peggy Moore saying, what's next? She's not here anymore. So you all got to look out for each other, because none of us thought we were going to lose her or Hope this year. Okay? And on that subject, for those who might not have been as familiar, you know, they were killed in an act of traffic violence coming home from a concert. So, you know, Peggy will be the first one to say, politicize my death. Right? We need to fight for safe streets for everyone. We need to fight for safe communities. We need to fight so that this doesn't happen to other families. Okay? And the best way we can honor Peggy, I know this is going to sound funny to folks who might not have known her as well, but that woman co-opted, fired up so well, that in my head I still hear shut up when it's said. You know, you'd be in a room, you'll be talking, Peggy Moore would get up there, she'd be like, fired up. Fired up. So let's do it one more time for Piggy, okay? Fired up. Fired up. Fired up. We lost a giant, but that doesn't mean that we're not all still here, okay? So we're gonna honor Peggy, we're gonna honor Hope and Ellen. We're gonna win this year, and we're gonna do it for them, okay? Is that before we go?
Thank you, Andy and Mona, for those wonderful words. I thank you all for silently listening, but let's not be silent about the auction that's happening over there. Don't forget to buy a wonderful gift for yourself that will benefit the Democratic Party. Thank you so much for that. Next, I have the honor to introduce our assembly person, Liz Ortega. And so thankful to have her as our assembly member, and she's going to come up here and introduce our next award for community partner.
All right, Liz. Buenas noches. I was enjoying my chicken. Thanks for that beautiful introduction. Chicken is delicious. I am your California State Assembly member for District 20. What an honor it is to be here today, especially as we've heard with Senator Corbett and all the wonderful things that she meant for all of us, including myself. If it wasn't for her leadership becoming the first woman mayor of San Leandro, a Latina, an immigrant, would not be here representing that city in the state assembly member. So thank you, Senator Corbett. I was asked to give an award tonight to the Alameda Labor Council and I miss you guys. I miss fighting for the working families here in Alameda County, but excited to be in Sacramento, fighting for every single one of us across the state. As your new Labor and Employment Chair, I've been reminded every day that not every Democrat is a Labor Democrat. That not every Democrat stands for increasing wages, for access to health care, for a pension with retirement. And I don't care if you're tweeting this, because I've said it to my colleagues and I'll say it. We are in the state of California. If we are going to be what we say we are for the rest of the nation, then we need to stand up for working families across this state. And with that, it is my honor to present the award. I don't know what it's called, but other than Kit Kat's Alameda Labor Council. Come on up to accept your award, and on behalf of our first African-American leader to lead 135,000 workers, please proud. Let's give it up for Keith.
Thank you. It's an honor to be standing here with my union siblings of the Alameda Labor Council. And also just a privilege to be introduced by our Assembly member, Liz Ortega, who has built a strong foundation for labor here in Alameda County. So before I begin, I just want to acknowledge the public servants in the room today, and also to acknowledge Supervisor Keith Carson for legacy of public service and dedication to improving the lives of people in Alameda County, and also recognition to our Senator Nancy Skinner for visionary leadership, for progressive policies for our county, being a leader on climate justice and economic equity. And also a huge thank you to Congresswoman Barbara Lee for your unwavering commitment to equity, peace, and justice. Thank you. And also a big thank you to the East Bay Stonewall Club for just their strong advocacy, not only for the LGBTQ plus community, but for all of Alameda County to make this a more inclusive society. So this Community Partner Award, it belongs to the workers of Alameda County who are the backbone of our community, ensuring that essential services run smoothly and efficiently every day. It is the commitment of our workers here that is the core values of the Alameda County Democratic Party. The contribution from our workers to build an inclusive, equitable society.
Yes.
So we are here to celebrate, but tomorrow we will get back to work. The stakes are high. If Kamala Harris wins the White House and we lose the House of Representatives because we did not get off our couches, then that's on us. The shame is on us. Let's not forget that 2 years ago, a right-wing farmer, John Duarte, won a California's House seat because by just a few hundred votes, because not enough of us went out to Modesto to talk to voters and knock on those doors. Yeah. So the Alameda Labor Council was there today, this morning in Modesto. Workers were there. Along with UAW members, OPEIU 29 members, Teamsters 70 members, nurses, workers. We were on a bus from Alameda Labor Council to Modesto. And we need to all spend some time and get out there and knock on those doors so that we win in November. These efforts is not just about politics, it's about the people that we serve. The people of Alameda County are working people. And the folks that I met in the 13th Congressional District, there are people. They work tirelessly. They sacrifice for their families. They love their children. They care for their grandparents. They harvest our food, build our houses, and pave our roads. Yep. That congressional district has the largest percentage of working population commuting 3 hours a day to jobs because they cannot afford a house, so they have to commute. The people in the Congressional District 13, they welcome all of us with open arms, and they will welcome you too. So we accept this award, but tomorrow we're going to continue to fight and win this election. Thank you. And thank you to President Park of the Alameda Labor Council, our staff, our executive board members, thank you very much.
They could just put some Tony Club on I mean,
Let's give another round of applause for our siblings in the labor movement.
Oh yeah. That really does look
My
good.
friends, thank you so much again for being part of this momentous occasion where we celebrate unity, democracy, and a lifelong commitment to kick-ass organizing.
Yeah.
I am extremely humbled to stand here before you as the chair of the party. In what universe would it have been possible for this Jewish immigrant from Ukraine to be able to come to America, to be able to have the ability for my family, who when they came here had but a couple of suitcases to their name, to be able to work hard and pursue a good life for me, where I could enjoy a public education. Go Bears. Democrats made it possible. It was then Senator Boxer who helped ensure that my family was able to come here in the first place. The thing that, yes, thank you, Senator Boxer. But it was democratic policies that allowed families to be able to make this a home and reunite and have a fair shot at whatever it was that they did, that they knew if they worked hard, there would be a safety net to catch them. My friends, I'm humbled to be here today because some of you are just starting out on this journey. Some of you have mentored me over the years and have been fighting for these principles of democracy, of family, of community for longer than I've been alive. And I recognize in my heart and in my bones that today I stand on the shoulders of giants. We all stand on the shoulders of democratic giants.
That's right.
At a time when Trump is making weird comments about our Haitian American siblings and something about dogs, let me be clear
My dogs did not like
that it is actually the oldest dog whistle in the world. And it harkens back to a time of hate. It harkens back to a dark time of division. And we know, and I know because I see all of you gathered here tonight, that we're not going back. We're not going back.
Then start it.
In less than 50 days,
I'm gonna take this whole thing off already.
we are at the threshold, the precipice
I feel it.
of making history or her story once again by electing the daughter of the Bay Area, Vice President Kamala D. Harris, to be our next president. We understand the assignment. We're joined here today. Thank you, CDP Chair Rusty Hicks, for joining us today. Thank you to the California Young Democrats President Gio Chavez for joining us tonight. Thank you to DNC members like Jason Park and Sean Dugar for being here. Because we know that as goes Alameda County, so goes California. And as goes California, so goes our great nation.
Except when Bernie Sanders is in the primary.
So my friends,
Except when Nancy.
I'm grateful to celebrate with you tonight. I know
I better stop him.
that we are going to do everything we possibly can to knock on doors, to write postcards, to make calls. The reason that my family back in Ukraine is still alive is because of the Biden administration and its commitment to democracy, which Vice President Harris will continue. And as multiple speakers said at the DNC convention, and I'm going to repeat it, as First Lady Michelle Obama said, these are going to be the hardest 50 days we are going to have. But everything that we love is truly on the line. And that's why we're going to do it. So when you're tired, when you're weary, know that you have a shoulder to lean on, fellow Democrats in Alameda County and beyond, to do this work with. And come November, we will celebrate as we not only make history nationally, but elect our endorsed Democratic candidates and endorsed Democratic positions here. Because that's what we do.
Why is he speaking so slow? Our meetings that
So just remember, when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. And win, we are going to do together. Thank you, everyone. I am deeply honored to introduce another award. This award happened in a sleepy little unincorporated area, with the story behind this award. Happened in a part of Alameda County that past Democrats wrote off. And that allowed some Moms for Liberty candidates to come in. And when they came in, they took a pride flag that was proudly flying over school grounds. And they put forward a resolution which passed because they had a majority of the board. We actually endorsed the candidate. Our endorsed candidate did an amazing job, but could not, he was in the minority. And that's where the story would have ended. But for these organized Democrats, the United Sunol Glen campaign we were very proud and humbled to work closely with that campaign to make sure that every Democrat was reached out to. Every Democrat who could vote in the Sunol Glen Unified School District, just about every Democrat did vote. And just about every Democrat, to a T, voted against hate. Now,
That's right.
we don't take recalls.
We come for you, bitches.
As Democrats, we generally are opposed to recalls. But in some cases, when there is malfeasance, when there is hate, when there is injustice, we supported taking these Moms for Liberty back candidates out. And that's what the Sunol Glen United campaign did. Everyone now knows the name of Sunol Glen because of their work. And it is my pleasure to call up Denise to join us for this very special award.
Go Denise! You're adopting every gay person in here.
We're about to get to a very special part of the program. But before we do, you know, money, it just doesn't fall out of coconut trees. You know that mention of every door that we knock, every postcard that we write, every call that we make? Well, the more money the Alameda County Democratic Party has, the more of that we can do. So we can save democracy. So I know you paid a lot to be here, and we appreciate it. And if you are able to dig deep and give a little more, there is an exciting silent auction opportunity happening right now. So get out your phones. Yep, you see Mel is showing them at the center of the table. You should have these little funky QR codes. And give a little more. And we will put all of that money to highest and best use, the work of democracy.
This is my job.
It is my pleasure to introduce two very dear friends and mentors of mine. Berkeley, former assembly member. You know, this is a surprise. There's actually a very surprise. It was even a, no, it was not a surprise to me. But we have a very special award. And speaking of mentors, this is one that truly has been my mentor. Former chair, Robin Torello. Come on up, Robin. You know, apparently, as legend would have it, the Alameda County Democratic Party used to not even have endorsements. So when we talk about how we have an 85% win record now of electing our endorsed candidates, it's because Robin, as chair, rewrote the rules to make sure we actually understand our assignment as the Democratic Party. And Robin continues to work hard every single day at the Eden Area United Democratic Campaign. which is a battleground part of Alameda County. Robin, thank you so much for everything you do, day in and day out, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Mayor Tom Bates and Senator Lonnie Hancock, two individuals that were so critical to mentoring me when I was starting out in Berkeley as a public servant. And the beautiful shoreline that we're on today is because of the work of so many, but in no small part is because of the immense work that they have done to make sure that we protect the beautiful places of Berkeley and beyond. And Mayor, Senator, please come on up.
Thank you.
I guess it's a great privilege to be here and have an opportunity to have a chance to say something, and also to have the opportunity to honor Nancy Skinner. So I'm going to give some brief remarks about Nancy Skinner. She was a wonderful person. A lot of us knew in this room. She was actually raised in Southern California. She was from a large family. 9 kids were in the family. She came to Berkeley. And she majored in natural resources. And as a Berkeley undergraduate, she became the very first Cal student to be elected to the Berkeley City Council, which was pretty amazing in those days. Nancy was a big fighter for apartheid, and when she got there, she also was very interested in doing something about styrofoam, which was the first thing that she did was try to ban styrofoam in Berkeley, which happened. And she continued with this wonderful lifelong work about the environment, about social justice, and about serving people. So she served 2 terms on the Berkeley City Council. And then she was elected to the East Bay Regional Park District, and she served only for 2 years because she was elected to the State Assembly. And so she went to State Assembly. She followed Lonnie Hancock. She was there for 3 terms. She had amazing impact during those 3 terms. She then ran, when Lonnie was turned out, she ran for State Senate. And she was elected to the State Senate. And she did amazing things in the State Senate, primarily things around the environment. She was a leader in making sure that the environment was taken care of, and she worked diligently to do stuff. She was involved with child care. She was involved with landmark legislation, which we know is the NIH, and which is where sports members can sell their identity and image, and which has changed the whole scope of athletics in terms of the ability for athletes to get something. She was involved also with making the food better for kids in school. She was a real down-to-earth, lovely, wonderful woman who did all kinds of amazing things. She had probably 50 different bills and things that she was able to accomplish. So it's my great pleasure to be introduced to giving her the Lifetime Award to Nancy Skinner for her amazing work as an advocate, a legislator, and a wonderful person. Nancy's not here tonight, but accepting on her behalf is my wife.
Go White. Thanks for visiting me.
Thank God.
Okay, thank you. On behalf of my friend, my colleague over the long term, Nancy Skinner, I am honored to accept this award. I want to tell you, we served in Berkeley politics, and we served in the state legislature, and a bunch of other people elected this kid to the Alameda County Board of Supervisors. His name was Keith Carson. He represented Alameda County, Albany, Berkeley, Emeryville, Piedmont, and a big part of Oakland. And for the last 32 years, this young man has been working to do the things that need to happen for the people of this county. Alameda County has the challenges of health care for the people that don't have it, economic development and job retention, and the safety net. The safety net, that's the main role I think the county plays. Keith has not only worked on all these issues, he led the East Bay Economic Development Alliance, which worked to keep jobs here in Berkeley. No, Cole County. He served on a huge number of committees, transportation, waste management, and others in the county. And he also represented the county in state, the state CSAC organization of counties, and the national also Association of Counties. And I say this because it is important, because our values here need to get out into the big world. And I know from serving on some of these bodies myself, that when you do that, you talk to people. And not only the people who need to be encouraged because they want to do some of the things we've done out here, but the people who may be timid and don't know it's happened. So that was another great role. But I also want to personally say to Keith, I know about the work he did on reentry and the work on justice reform in this county. And I've been out to San Quentin Prison and other places with him where he's been working to make sure we bring people back and we give them the opportunities to thrive. So, thank you for that, Keith. And then the other thing is, some of you may not know, but we've had a new initiative in Alameda County for the last several years. It's called Care First, Jail Last. And the goal is to get people with mental illness out of Santa Rita jail, where they do not get better and they are often harmed. Keith has been key to the success of passing that initiative, which is also going on in LA, by the way. So we're hopefully, we can show a North-South partnership here. And it's about to go into implementation. So Keith, thank you for your support of that, for your continuing, and I want you to stay active and get us implemented. You're not done yet, dear friend. Come on up.
Thank you.
I'm emotionally moved by the comments of my friend, Lonnie Hancock, and also Tom, and deeply moved by it. And they've not only been counsel to me over the years, but they are dear friends, and I really appreciate the life that we lived together in the political sphere. I want to thank the Alameda County Democratic Party for acknowledging and having me a part of the program, especially Igor, who I've known for a long time, and Sean and others who helped put this on. I really appreciate the opportunity to be recognized. Let me say this, and I want to be brief. I was very blessed to have been born in Berkeley, first and foremost. But as important, to grow up at a time in which the progressive political eco-center was really one that included the free speech movement, Mario Savio, the Black Panther Party, the end, not the end, but the end of the 60s as it related to racial justice in terms of Martin Luther King coming and speaking at UC Berkeley, as well as my own church, Progressive Missionary Baptist Church in Berkeley on King and Alcatraz. The start of so many movements, including the Vietnam War movement, that was the ecosystem that existed in this community. And out of that ecosystem were birthed individuals who I'm privileged to have been friends with and served with, such as Nancy Skinner, such as Lonnie Hancock, such as Tom Bates, such as Barbara Lee, and I'm very blessed to be recognized in the same way as they are, although I think they have done way more than I have. But nobody does anything alone. And I do want to acknowledge the fact that along the way, when I was given the privilege to work with Ron Delman for 15 years, along with Barbara Lee, both in Washington and also in the district office, the ability to manage a number of campaigns, including Ron's re-election campaign a number of times, statewide campaigns, given the privilege to oversee Jesse Jackson's first campaign for president in this area, and work with many of you in this room in order to achieve what we did collectively. No one does anything alone. And I do want to acknowledge Amy Schrago from my office, who's my boss during the day. Then my boss all the time, my wife Maria, who 30, 40 years ago would get up at 5:30 in the morning, like most of you in this room, and do door hanging. You remember those days? That's because we work together, and that's what it's going to take for us to move forward. And again, I just want to simply say thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'm humbled by the recognition. I've been given the job of introducing someone we all know well, far too well, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. And yeah, I know her very well. I could go to jail for talking about some of this stuff. But let me start by saying this, because I think it's important. While many of us know of her accomplishments, you read about them every day, you hear about them through her newsletters, you watch the television and you see what's happening. I know her from a personal perspective, so I want to take a few moments to be personal. Susan Taylor, many of you may or may not know her, a Black woman, American editor, writer, journalist, editor-in-chief at one point in time of Essence magazine from 1981 to 2000, said in 1988, women work overtime, do double, triple duty, juggle 10 balls at once, children, childcare, husbands, school, work, and more work. And when one of the women drop the balls, they wonder what's wrong with them. Let me say, that speaks to Congresswoman Barbara Lee. A person, from the time I've known her, and that was when we both were working in Ron's office, and even before that, with her children, continued to give service to this community. While she went to school with her children, gave service to this community. And then when she became a staff person to Ron and worked in Washington, D.C., I don't know how many late nights up until midnight, she was at work making sure that things were right for Ron Dellum, so when he went to the floor of Congress that he fought as eloquently as he could fight and as fearlessly as he could fight on behalf of all of us in this room and around this nation and around the world. Barbara Lee then took that same energy and compassion and focus and attention to fighting for all of us, along with taking care of her family at the same time. Her dear mother, her sister Mildred, her children, and she was going back and forth from this community to Washington, D.C., many times taking a red eye, many times taking a red eye and walking straight to the floor of Congress, but making sure that her children were fed and taken care of first. She's not dropped any balls. And I don't believe she's going to drop any balls going forward. My sister, I love you very dearly, Barbara Lee.
Keith, first of all, is the epitome of what a public servant should be and is. Secondly, with all the running and work, yes, that I'm consumed by, Keith takes the time to always check on me. Early in the morning or late at night, just to be sure that I'm there. And Keith, you don't know how much I appreciate that, because you have a lot that you're doing. And Maria, I want to thank you for your friendship and for your partnership with Keith and for making sure that we all stay together. So thanks so much, Keith. And thanks again, Maria. Give them a round of applause. Igor, thank you. You have taken this Alameda County Democratic Party to another level. Let me tell you, I am so proud of you and what you have done over the years, because my colleagues do not believe that I get such a high percentage in terms of turnout on each election, right? And it's because the highest turnout 90% of the times in the state and in the country, and that's because of all of you. And you make me proud, so thank you. Also, let me just say a couple of things about the awardees. I want to just congratulate all of you. And in honor of Peggy and Hope and Ellen, who were all my friends, I know that they would want us to forge ahead and to fight hard, but they are really missed. And their spirit is with us, but boy, I mean, I learned a lot from all of them, and so thanks so much for giving the moments tonight for these three great women. You know, I just got back from Las Vegas. Now, it's bittersweet going to Las Vegas to campaign. I'm gonna tell you why. Nevada is turning blue, but it's turning blue. But it's turning blue because half my constituents have moved there because of the cost of housing and the cost of living here. And I want to tell Keith, where's Keith with our Labor Council? I want to thank you, Keith, for raising this. And thank God our Vice President, soon to be president, if we do our work, is putting housing at the top of her agenda. It's unacceptable that people cannot afford to live in Alameda County or have to walk or drive or ride 3 to 4 hours every single day to work. It's not right. And so, yeah, Nevada's turning blue, but everywhere I went, and I'm there a lot campaigning, it's like, don't you remember me? I was your constituent. Don't you remember me? I was in your church. Don't you remember me? I mean, it's just, it's unbelievable. So we have to do something about housing, and I'm so glad that the daughter of Alameda County, again, if we do our work, will be our next president in the White House. Okay? And she will deal with housing in a big way. People, Tom, where's Tom and Lonnie? Let me just say hello to you. And I've known Tom and Lonnie probably as long as I've known Keith. But I want to just say a couple of things about Tom. Many of you don't know this, but there had never been an African American on the Board of Supervisors. And I remember, Tom, going down to your office on 12th Street. I was a student at Mills College, working with the Black Panther Party, with Shirley Chisholm's campaign, the whole 9 yards. Tom was down there showing me how he was helping to draw the lines so that we could elect an African American to the Board of the Alameda County Board of Supervisors. Thank you, Tom. It's never going to happen. You've had your leadership. And with Lonnie, many of you know I have a degree. I have my MSW from UC Berkeley. I'm a social worker by profession. But I started a community mental health center when I was a student. And then Ying and Lonnie, they were on the city council. And here this student with this big afro, power to the people, coming in to the Berkeley City Council saying, I want to set up a community mental health center in Berkeley because the black community and low-income community are not receiving the type of mental health services that they deserve. And Lonnie and Ying and those city council members, they looked at each other, but you know what? They trusted me, and they appropriated probably about $50,000 to $75,000 and got me started with Change Incorporated. So thank you, Lonnie. And yes, I got involved in politics through Shirley Chisholm, running for president. But also, I'm working now on her congressional gold medal. We've got enough Republican support to get it off the floor, so I'm trying to do that before her 100th birthday, which is November 30th. So we're working hard on that. But, okay, so Shirley Chisholm, of course, Rod Dellums, Jesse Jackson. But then, I don't know if all of you remember this, or some of you remember this, but I endorsed President Obama, Barack Obama, early on, and everybody said, what are you doing? He won, didn't he? I endorsed Kamala Harris in 2019 for president. And what you doing now? Who's going to be our next president? And I share that because you all have really stood by me and given me the chance to step out there and to endorse those candidates that I think would really change the nature and the shape and the structure of the institutions in this country. And so Alameda County Democratic Club, I want to thank you all so much for that. I want to thank you for also going, where's Jerry McNerney? I know Jerry was here. Jerry, hey Jerry, look, miss you in DC, but he's the real scientist. And we learned a lot from Jerry on climate, on the environment, and now he's going to be in the legislature, in the Senate. But so many of you helped Jerry McNerney win his first election from here in Alameda County. I want to thank you for that. Now look at where it's going. And also Josh Harder. I want to thank all of you once again. We put out the call to go to Josh's district. And what did you do? You went to help Josh Harder. And so Alameda County Democratic Club not only elects good Democrats here in Alameda County, but you all get it in terms of making sure that we elect Democrats throughout the state and in other states, next door, Arizona, Nevada, South Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, everywhere I went into Lucy McBath's first campaign in Georgia. She ran in Newt Gingrich's old seat. I walk into a fundraiser And I look around, and there are 13 people from Alameda County. They said, well, Barbara, you said that she's a good candidate and we've got to help her. And there were 13 people in Georgia, in New England's district, at a fundraiser for Newsy McMahon. But that's the kind of reach that you have. And so don't let anybody tell you that we're an island unto ourselves, or that we're kind of like out there. Because when Alameda County speaks, the rest of the country listens. The rest of the country listens and follows our lead. Follows our lead. And finally, I'll just say, you know, I've been the first black woman north of Los Angeles elected to the California Assembly, the California Senate, and the United States Congress. I've been in Congress 26 years. I was in the Senate. I was in the Senate for in the Assembly and Senate 7.5 years. Then I worked for Ron for 11 years. But can you imagine being the first and the only for all that time? Okay, but representation matters. Representation matters. And I want to, you know, and look at you. I mean, this representation of Alameda County is what's changing the dynamics, the political dynamics of California. And so Dale and Lisa, representation matters. Team Lee, would you all stand up, please? Because this is like who I am, really. It's not just me, they were the ones that, my advisory committee, they're the ones, Andreas, thank you very much, that keep me on track on making sure that I provide the representation that all of you deserve. But having said that I was the first on all of these, I am not going to be the last. Amen. I'm not the last. And I'm going to make sure, and I know you all are, that this woman who I love and who's a progressive black woman, who is a member of the Board of Directors, who has children and who knows this district, Latifah Simon, she's going to be the next. Just go anywhere. I mean, Latifah stepped, right? So she's gonna do this. I'm gonna forge ahead. I'm not retiring. I'm just forging ahead, making some more good trouble with Keith and many of you here. And Latifah, Ron passed the baton to me, and I passed it to Latifah Simon. And so I just want to thank all of you very much. God bless you, and thank you again for this beautiful work.
That we know as Berkeley. Everywhere she goes around the nation, rooms just roar. She is given literally a parade. I was in DC with Miss Lee just last week, and to see the deep love and the grace that Democrats and Republicans have alike for this woman, because for the last 30 years, I'm gonna just round it, give you 3 more. For the last almost 30 years that she has been in the United States Congress, she has put her feet down deep on that floor and led with the utmost integrity and dignity. Her floor has been a pro-peace, no war floor. Her floor has been a ceasefire floor. Good school and low-cost education for our children. Her floor has been health care for young people who are dying in hospitals who their insurance companies are kicking them out. Barbara Lee has consistently stood taught us that. She has stood on the corner consistently saying, y'all will come along. Y'all will come along if you lead with heart and clarity. She has been so clear that the PRO Act must pass. She has been so clear there is no America without labor protections. So, all that we know, literally almost 2 generations, we have had a black single mother in Congress standing day after day with her legs held tight on the floor, unifying this here party in this here county. So you know what we owe you, Miss Lee? We owe you to act with the grace that you've taught us. We owe you to move together as one. We continue to fight the draconian forces from the right, even in this county. We have one enemy, and it ain't us. You have taught us to lead with love for children and the sick. You have been so very clear that joy and a love of the soil here is the work. You partnered with Ms. Hancock, and you partnered with our mayor to create one of the first spaces for disabled people in Berkeley. You talked about Miss Nancy Skinner. You stood with Nancy when many others didn't, when Miss Hancock and Nancy were on the floor saying our prisons are full and we need to do something different. Folks are not transforming in these cages. In fact, folks are coming out worse than they came in. We thank you, Miss Lee. That was my job tonight, but I had to do it. I mean, can you imagine the young people in this county who, in 3rd grade, they learned who their congresswoman is? She is our forever congresswoman. Our forever congresswoman. And because Barbara Lee worked with Ron Dellums and that's right. Yep. Let me say, Ron Dellums, I heard the story right. Keith Carson and others and Maxine Waters, they sat together and huddled and created a real clear strategy to free South Africa. They did that. They created a policy and strategy formation to take Packers out of South Africa so it would be free. We can do this work. All we have to do is follow our leaders who led with grace, intellect, and looked at one party as vision. I have a job to do tonight, and it's what Nancy Skinner asked me to do just 6 months ago. She said, we need to raise some money, Latifah, to get all the folks in the Women's Caucus to visit a prison in Ireland to see how we're doing it wrong.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And Miss Liz, you know Nancy, she was like, okay, you only have 50,000, Latifah. Youngsters, we actually still work for them. When Barbara leaves Congress, we are all staffers. So when they ask us to do something, we have to do it. So Nancy is not here tonight because half of the Women Caucus, they're literally learning how to push back this tide against a recriminalization of our folks. You have worked so hard, Ms. Hancock, to ensure that this state leads the nation in prison reform and reentry. We're not going back. So we give our nod to the women in the caucus right now. They will know how we can do this differently. But we gotta raise money. We have to raise money. Like we raised that money to send those women across the world to figure out how to do it better here. This party, we're at a unity dinner. We need resources to bring us together, to elect folks, but more importantly, be one organization who learns to lead with love. There are 8,000 plus people who are sleeping on the streets of Alameda County. And so as we fight one another, folks die. John George is not a replica of the name that it is named by. John George was a hero. That institution deserves so much more. We as a party get elected, and whether we're staffers or we're in career work inside these institutions, we have to have a moral base.
Yes. Right.
And none of us, as Michelle Obama said, she It's like the new Oprah. She said none of us are perfect and electeds are not gods. So you will look at your QR codes. I'm preaching and then I go right to a QR code, but that's what we're doing. And if every single table can commit to just giving something, because really, you know, we have a party that's led by a son of immigrants and a black woman. And I want us to walk out today saying we more than doubled what we thought we can raise. If somebody in here can give more, I'm gonna just make this easy, we're not gonna do the auction thing. If you can give more than $10, clap your hands. If you can give more, come on, if you can give more than $20, clap your hands. If you can give more than 100, clap your hands. Come on, let's clap. I would really love for us, as we usher out our heroes in their image of grace and giving. You know, Barbara Lee has been fundraising for everybody and their mama for the past 27 years. From Planned Parenthood to women who are getting out the vote in Coffee County, Georgia. We actually can show them that the generation that you are all passing the torch to, that we can raise to, that we could throw down to, that we can heal together to. So I hope whether it is tonight or moving forward, we all answer the call collectively to give what we can to a party that can move us forward. Because when we fight, Keith, we do what? We win. When we struggle together, we do what? We win. When we hold each other accountable with love, we do what? We win. When we raise, we win. Give it up to our heroes tonight. Give it up to our heroes. Thank you, Democrats.
Let's give it up for our next Congresswoman, Latifah Simon. Now I get the added joy of congratulating our silent auction winners. Shout out to Nolan Kanaba, who is fancy, and he likes tequila. Congratulations. Shout out to Brinkley Goodall. Shout out to Patricia D, who's fallen in love and's got a date night basket. Where you at, Patricia? Shout out. Shout out to Robin Wilkes for cannabis. Shout out, and most importantly, let's shout out to Anonymous, who bought all the other gifts. Yay, Anonymous! Woohoo! Anonymous gets to have dinner with Latifah. I'm jealous. Thank you all so much for buying into the silent auction. We really appreciate you. Igor, you want to come up and let's close out the night? I just want to announce there is a special after party tonight at the Study Hall Rooftop Lounge starting at 9 p.m., which is right now. So after the Unity Dinner Party from 9 a.m. to 12, hosted by Honorable Igor Tregu, Sean Ugar, Stefan Rostrad, and Honorable Courtney Welch. Hope you guys will be there.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you for making this 52nd Unity Dinner one for the books. Tonight and for the next 48 odd days, we make history together. We can elect our local candidates that we have endorsed, like council member, my colleague Terry Chaplin, who is whose district we are in. Thank you so much. We can go elect folks like Congressman Jerry McNorty and our next Assembly member Rhodesia Ransom, just an hour away. I want to shout out the youngest Democrat in the room here today. She is 12 years old. Where you are at, Farah? Thank you for understanding the assignment. Thank you, all of you. I am so excited to close us out together because When we fight, we're gonna do what? When we fight? When we fight? When we fight? Let's win this thing.
Special thanks to Sean Dugar, Robin Torello, John Smith for coordinating this dinner. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's also remember, if you still want to donate, there's QR codes outside. If you still have your name tag, recycle it. Don't take it home with you. And thank you so much for coming out tonight.